So I have a workshop coming up in Portland, Oregon this August 31st and September 1st with a facilitator named Tasha Harmon. And Tasha happens to teach people how to move from complaints to requests. So again, we'll be teaming up. I'll be offering the couples Thai massage. It's a couples workshop, if I didn't already mention that. But I'll be offering the mind-body guidance, and Tasha will be guiding our group facilitation. So I'm actually going to bring Tasha on right now to chat about this. So is on our side, I hope. There she is.
Well, hello.
Hello. I brought you on to talk about turning complaints into requests, which is one of the things that you're going to teach the couples in our couples workshop coming up August 31st and September 1st. So
True.
can you tell us like one really key thing that is important to remember when trying to turn a complaint into a request? Or what do you think
Well, I
people's
think
biggest hurdle is?
the first thing to remember about it is that really a complaint is just a more protected way to try to communicate a need, right? So when we're complaining, there's sort of this backstory underneath the complaint that's like, I'm feeling like I need this thing, but I don't really expect to get it. And that communicates itself. And so we tend to receive complaints as defensive communication. We sort of interpret them as criticisms in some way. And so we tend then not to get our needs met because somebody has to work pretty hard to figure out like how to get past that and into what the tender need is that's underneath.
Yeah.
And so really pausing and saying, instead of like before the complaint comes out of your mouth or in that moment, you hear the complaint come out of your mouth, you're like, wait, what do I actually want?
Yeah.
And translating that thing, because often we don't actually know what we want in that moment, right? We haven't done that work. And so part of what we're going to do in this workshop is to slow it way down and really just explore like what's up for us when we're complaining and what is it that we want, and then how do we help each other, right? So how do we do it for ourselves, but then also if we're hearing somebody else's complaint, how do we in a supportive connective way interrupt the complaint, which isn't actually helping, and get to, well, what do you want? And what, how do we connect around this instead of the defensive thing that often comes when we're complaining for ourselves and for the other person?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I'm so happy to be working with you in this aspect, because that self-awareness can really be aided by an embodied experience. So I'll be
Yes.
offering the yoga and the couples Thai massage, the partners Thai massage, so that we can take these concepts, but then really feel them in the body. And like you said, what do I even want? Coming back to the body, at least for me and for the clients that I work with, the students that I work with, has been an essential first step in figuring out what your needs are, and then getting in touch with that like vulnerable side too, of then voicing that desire instead of just like a guarded complaint.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited that, to have the two of us together, because the work I do is very embodied, but it's often not touch focused, right? Like it can be embodied without being about connective touch. And so doing a couples workshop where we can move fluidly back and forth between the touch-based work and the somatically based but language infused work, I think is going to just be a wonderful rhythm to
Yeah.
create, right? Back and forth, so we can go into one and then back out and into another. And
Yeah,
yeah,
into
I'm
the
super
individual
excited.
experience and then into a couple and group experience. Yeah. Oh, I'm really
Yeah, it gives us
excited.
so many options, right? So many possibilities for rhythm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, my work is very grounded in the deep knowledge that habitual patterned reactive response is carried in the body. It's not a mental construct. And so we can't actually, I can give you all the tools in the world for reshaping the language, but if you're not reshaping the felt experience, nothing changes.
Yes,
And the gift of the slowing down exercises is that it can translate itself into that level.
absolutely.
But I'm really excited about this chance to work with you in a way that's going to solidify that,
It's going to
like
bring it
that
all
movement
together.
in and out of the body.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what you mentioned, I tell people, I'm like, the couples work you do on the mat, of course, translates off the mat, just like yoga. The work you do on the mat translates into the rest of your life. You really can help calm the nervous system and help make you more resilient through experiences that trigger you. And even it's very much in the body. When people receive massage, like your muscles have their own guarding. And I often tell people when they're coming in just for a one-on-one session, I'm like, the body has a mind of its own. I know you're not doing this on purpose, but you can help the experience by noticing it in your mind when your body is contracting and protecting, and kind of
Yeah.
coach your own body through the experience. Like, it's okay, shoulder, it's okay, or it's okay, hip, or the self-talk and the self-coaching can, for me, was probably the biggest shift in my yoga practice and in my receiving massage experience. It makes me a better practitioner, of course, too.
Yeah, I mean, for me also, a lot of my path to recovering from my own traumas has been somatically based. It's been about five element acupuncture, it's been about yoga, it's also been about writing and the reflective process that comes to the body level when I sit quietly and allow what I almost know to emerge on the page, right? And so there's all of these tools that we can use, and each thing adds its own piece to the journey, the healing journey. And I'm excited also to have, like, if people have been working on the mat or they've been working on massage and touch, and then we go do the complaints to request exercise, people will stay more conscious of their bodies, which has all this wisdom, right? So it's like, okay, well, this complaint is coming out, and maybe the most useful question is, where is it coming from in my body? Like, what does that tell me about what I actually want and need in this moment? So
Yeah.
it's, and often when it's just kind of me doing it, we don't get down to that level in the same way. So I'm super delighted to have this opportunity to do that dance with you.
Yeah, me too. And from my end, I'm really excited to bring the social skills into this because, I know a lot of people in the health and wellness community, and I don't know if you're familiar with the term spiritual bypassing, but sometimes people will not kind of go there and acknowledge their own uh, blockages. And I think especially in a social aspect, it's like you'll kind of isolate and just like meditate it away or something. But the social is so important. And that's what's really come up in my life, which is why I'm directing myself more toward, helping the group experience, the social experience, because that's such a real part of our lives as human beings. We exist together in relationship with other people, period.
Yes, we are relational creatures. And yeah, and we can learn all the skills we want on our own, but unless we've learned to practice them with other people, there's a piece missing that's really critical to our health and well-being and our capacity to be with each other, right? And so that's where the language is sometimes helpful, right? Can we think about
Absolutely.
how we pattern this tool that we use to bridge our separate but equal realities, right?
Yes.
Because, language is hard.
Yeah.
It's
But
not,
even to change the
yeah.
story we tell ourselves about the experience too, language is so important.
Hmm. Yeah, we just can't do it without the somatic connection. So this,
Yeah.
again, if we
So
can
again, we're
bring
coming
these things
together here.
together.
I've heard
Exactly.
my friend Lance calls it the biopsychosocial model. And I know he didn't make that up, but I love it. I'm like, oh yeah, we got to address all three of those. We do. Okay. So our workshop is Labor Day weekend, August 31st and September 1st, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We have room for 5 couples. It's
So jump on
$515 a
it.
couple. What?
So jump on it if you want
Jump on it,
this.
seriously. So only 5 couples. It's in Portland. It's at Everett House Healing Center. Where, yeah, Everett House Healing Center, and it's actually in the Flanders House, so it's on Flanders Street. Not that that means anything to anyone who doesn't live in Portland and know that street, but um, yeah, so 5 couples. I was there last year. It's such a wonderful, beautiful space. We're gonna go out to the garden on some days. There's a tea shop. And then of course there's the room where we'll be doing our couples Thai massage, our yoga, more of our intimate conversations and things like that. So we're gonna post the link in this description. By we, I mean me. Because
Excellent.
Tasha, I don't know if anyone tuned in last week, but we tried to do this but I couldn't bring Tasha on screen because you can't do a Facebook Live shared screen like this from your computer. So just fun fact for anyone trying to do a Facebook Live with a friend, you have to do
Who
it on phone.
knew?
Yeah, we learned last week. So
Yes.
I think that's all we got for you. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to watch this later. And yeah, that's all we got. If you have friends in the Portland area, please send them the invite. Again, we'll put the event link in this description. That would be super duper helpful. And I hope you at least gain something from this momentary conversation on the topics that mean a lot to me and, of course, to Tasha.
Yeah, and if people want to get a sense of me and my work, since we haven't, like most of the people who are watching this, I'm going to assume, Rissa, are part of your world.
Right.
My website is tasha-harmon.com, and there's a bunch of just ways to get to know who I am and what I bring there. So if you're curious about that, you want more of that, take a look.
Yeah. Oh, I love your website. That's part of why I reached out.
Great.
That and a good recommendation from my sister. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks again for those who watched and who will watch. And until next time.
Look forward to seeing some of you in Portland.
Yeah. Bye, Tasha.
Take care.